Welcome, everybody, to the world premiere and grand opening of the Belden Customer Innovation Center. In fact, we got several premieres from you today. We're about to witness the virtual opening of our first ever Customer Innovation Center located in Stuttgart, Germany. And in addition, today marks the beginning of Belden's extended offering of services and next step in our and your digitization journey. Now, of course, we would like to have done this face-to-face in Germany, where we could have met, we could have shown you in real life what we have been working on for so long. We all know that we can't meet in person in these COVID days. And of course, Belden wishes our customers, colleagues, and their families all of the best. So as we couldn't meet in person, we went for something better. A virtual premiere, a virtual opening, offering a revolutionary way to connect, offering the possibility for you to interact with the presenters and with each other, and to take advantage of our fully immersive 3D experience that we have in store for you. In today's fast-moving and changing times, data and insights are more essential than ever for making smart, timely, and effective business decisions. With the convergence of operational and informational technologies, organizations are better positioned than ever to take full advantage of their potential for operational success and security. Now, as experts, we know getting there is not easy. Increasing customer expectations, talent shortages, global supply chains, market fluctuations, and an ever-evolving selection of technologies add layers on top of layers of complexity to moving forward. And this is where the Belden Customer Innovation Center, or in short CIC, can help. As connectivity and networking experts, we are dedicated to helping customers accelerate the design and implementation of robust, reliable, and secure networks to deliver the data and insights that drive better business performance. Our lives and working environments become more and more digital. And that's why the Customer Innovation Center is designed to exceed expectations of partners, influencers, and our most demanding customers. To accompany you in your journey towards digitization, to be a sounding board for your operational challenges, to be your trusted advisor, and to co-create and innovate with you, rather than you going it alone. We believe the CIC combines high-tech, application knowledge, and know-how like no other initiative out there. But of course, this is not about what we think. It's about what you think, because this is for you. Let us know what you think throughout our grand opening or after the opening in our different interactive sessions with key stakeholders. And now, let us show you why we're so excited at Belden about the Customer Innovation Center. Automation networks are rapidly evolving to deliver business outcomes, including safety, quality, and productivity, more directly than ever before. This needs high-quality hardware and software working seamlessly together in networks designed for specific use cases, whilst ensuring availability, reliability, and security, and with a proven track record of successful installations. Such expertise is rarely available in one place. The Customer Innovation Center is that place. Today marks the start of a new era at Belden. Many teams across our company have worked extremely hard to bring all of this expertise and technology together. For us, the CIC is so special, as it is the first initiative of its kind, designed from the ground up to connect hardware and software, to connect people to people, to connect know-how and dreams. In the next moments, you will hear from senior leaders at Belden who will explain how CIC fits into the Belden vision and the purpose and goals of the CIC in fulfilling Belden's commitment to the ever-changing environment that we live in. After those messages, I'll take you on an extensive virtual tour through our magnificent location in Stuttgart, Germany. We have a panel lined up straight after that tour with speakers and industry experts with whom we will explore some of the global trends in our industry, how CIC will play a role in enabling your digital transformation, and Belden's ambitious innovation plans. And there's still more to come. After the panel discussion, we will introduce another premiere, the launch of Belden's network assessment services. At the end of all of this, do take the opportunity to interact in our network virtual rooms with speakers on the platform. So please stay around and tell us what you think. Today marks a true turning point for Belden. And to give you a broader perspective on why this is so important, I'd like to hand over to our first speaker. Talking to you from St. Louis, Missouri, United States. Here's our president and CEO of Belden, Roel Vestjens.
Thank you, Andries. My name is Roel Vestjens, and I'm the president and CEO of Belden. And it's my distinct honor to welcome all of you today as part of this virtual opening of our first Customer Innovation Center, our CIC. I'd like to especially welcome all of our customers, our partners, our associates, and our investors. The world in which we live in is changing. Enabling technologies, changing business models, changing customer behavior. There's a lot of change that we all have to deal with. The days where our customers, an engineer, would look at a catalog, a printed catalog, and only order one piece of signal transmission product, so for example, one piece of cable from Belden, and that's it, are long gone. Customers require customized solutions. They require partners to help them solve their networking or connectivity challenges, whether it's on the factory floor, whether it's on a machine or in a building. One size no longer fits all. Belden is changing as well. We've been around since 1902, when the company was founded by Joe Belden in Chicago, Illinois. And for 119 years, we've been making wire and cable products. The company has evolved quite significantly. So the last 16 years, we built an extensive product portfolio that enable us to provide these customized solutions for our customers. The vehicle at which we do so is a Customer Innovation Center. It's a unique ecosystem that is designed to co-innovate with our customers and co-design solutions to help our customers solve their connectivity or networking challenges. It is by design that our first Customer Innovation Center is being opened here in Stuttgart, Germany today. Stuttgart, where the heart of industrial automation is worldwide. We don't stop here. We're committed to opening 5 Customer Innovation Centers worldwide, with the second one already currently being built in Silicon Valley, California. That's where Dr. Ashish Chand is, our EVP for Industrial Automation, and I'm handing it over to him to talk to you in a little bit more detail about these CICs and about our industrial automation portfolio. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for your continued interest in Belden.
Thank you, Roel, and hello to everyone from Silicon Valley, the future site of Belden's next Customer Innovation Center. I'm Ashish Chand, Executive Vice President of Industrial Automation at Belden. Today is a landmark day for us because today we have taken a major step in fulfilling Belden's commitment to our customers to be their trusted advisors and to accompany them along their digital transformation and automation journeys. With digital transformation rapidly accelerating, especially in the last year as a result of the pandemic, automation networks are evolving to drive real business outcomes, including safety, innovation, quality, delivery, and productivity. But this requires both hardware and software working together to bridge the gap between IT and OT, or operational networks. The result? Being equipped with the data-driven insights necessary to make fast, smart, and effective business decisions in today's fast-moving and uncertain landscape. And with the rise of Industry 4.0, this is a critical need and one that requires expertise from a partner with a proven track record of providing customized solutions and services that support future-ready networks. The Customer Innovation Centers, or the CICs, shift the focus away from particular products and instead focus on developing solutions for customers in a product-agnostic manner. Now, with the center, our customers have the opportunity to co-innovate with sales and product engineers to develop, test, document, and deploy proven solutions that drive efficiency, security, and innovation. With our 4 core service areas, technical consulting, project management, education and events, and services and support, our expert advisors are with you on every step of your journey to accelerate the design and implementation of robust, reliable, and secure industrial networks. From our digital automation consultants who study your existing networks and recommend opportunities for enhanced digitization and data flow management, to solutions consultants who work with customers as architects of the network, and service engineers who provide implementation and post-sales support. And with the CIC, you have the opportunity to see how the solutions we design will work in your environment before going live. Our state-of-the-art proof of concept and validation labs help you to easily compare products, validate designs, and verify that certain concepts or features have the potential to become an end-to-end solution for your real-world applications and problems. Stuttgart marks just the beginning of a series of planned CIC launches around the globe. Over the next year, 4 additional CICs will be opened, 2 in the United States, in California and Chicago, as well as sites in Pune, India, and Shanghai, China. All of these are hand-picked locations that will provide the most value for our customers. These allow us to provide tailor-made solutions to global problems in a very customized and unique way that is specific to local needs. And even if you're not located near one of our physical centers, that doesn't mean that we can't help you with your specific challenges. We have experts in all parts of the world who speak all major languages, and they're ready and available to help solve your specific complex challenges. On a final note, I would like to formally extend an invitation to all our loyal customers and partners to come visit our CIC locations and engage with our expert engineers at least once. And once it's safe to travel, I would encourage you to visit in person and experience it for yourself. These spaces are designed to provide you an opportunity to network, collaborate, and co-innovate with experts to create unique and personalized experiences and solutions. But in the meantime, I present to you virtually our CIC Stuttgart, Germany, the first of our state-of-the-art centers designed with our customers in mind. So who's ready for a tour? For the very first time ever, we introduce CIC Stuttgart to the world. Enjoy.
As you can see, our town hall area provides the perfect setting for industry experts to come together to collaborate on and innovate solutions that solve even the most complex networking challenges. Once it's safe to do so, we're especially excited to host networking events, conferences, workshops, trade fairs, and trainings in this large town hall space, which was designed to accommodate up to 300 professionals. In the meantime, all of the CIC's rooms are equipped with state-of-the-art technology to seamlessly enable fully virtual as well as hybrid in-person events and experiences. The functionality within each room is connected to an easy-to-use control ecosystem, making everything customizable to your specific needs during your time at the CIC, from the lights and the sound to internet access and projection capabilities. It's all controlled at the click of a button. I hope you take the time to discover what Belden and the Customer Innovation Center is all about with one of our latest innovations, and we call it the Cube. Whether you've worked with Belden for years or are being introduced to us for the first time, it's important to us that you know who Belden is. From our company values and global culture to our talented people to our proven work. The Cube invites you to discover Belden's work using immersive touch technology. At the Cube, you'll have the chance to meet the people committed to ensuring your success. The Cube enables you to read about the people who make Belden great, including sales managers, network engineers, technical operators, project managers, and many more. These experts have first-hand knowledge of how Belden has solved complex networking and connectivity problems, just like yours. They're able to share what it's like to work with the Belden team and describe the solutions that they've brought to life. The Cube also allows you to explore our latest project and innovative solutions. You can dive into case studies across a variety of industries, like mass transit, energy, discrete manufacturing, and smart buildings, just to name a few. Ultimately, the Cube enables you to discover what Belden is all about, committed to being your trusted advisor along your digital transformation and automation journey. Be sure to check it out. In addition to the Cube, be sure to check out all that our Innovation Discovery Wall, or IDW for short, has to offer. Available on the big screen and accompanying tablets, Innovation Discovery Wall provides a dynamic, interactive, insightful, and effective way for you to uncover recent projects, comprehensive solutions, and specific products related to your networking. Whether you're looking to learn more about automation and connectivity solutions for machine building, mass transit, process facilities, or government, the IDW has you covered. By simply imputing your industry sector, your objective, or product of interest, the IDW will guide you through the specific project success story, including information around the problem and outcomes, as well as related products that will help you create an entire solution catered to your own application. You can also read about various solutions or customer success stories developed at the CIC, and then choose to drill down to learn more about the specific benefits of each individual product that makes up the complete solution. Or you can see how each solution outcome varies by industry and application, helping you to discover what will be the most useful in addressing your challenges. Learning has never been so accessible than it is now. And to make sure we meet our people, customers, partners' expectations, we designed 2 rooms that the journey of sharing and learning won't ever stop. And with the world changing fast and digitalization enabling us to explore new ways to acquire knowledge, we at the CIC have designed the training rooms to facilitate both classroom learning, face-to-face in our CIC centers, and immersive online learning experience. CIC training rooms large in size with the ability to hold up to 20 participants, will provide you an environment to get your teams together and engage live with our engineers. Whether it's a dedicated certification course or a project-specific technology training, we'll be able to host your needs when you're with us. Someone of your team couldn't join? No problems. With the interactive digital whiteboard and multi-screen visualization, we will allow your colleagues to not miss out on any content and actively participate and interact with us during the training sessions. And being at the headquarters of Hirschmann and Lumberg Automation, we have the access to innovation and product teams in case you were curious to know what's next in technology. The learning continues with the digital room. CIC is all about Belden's journey into digitalization. And our mission is to be able to engage with our valued customers, not only at the location, but to allow us to interact with you online without compromising on the experience. This is how we designed our digital room. We also call it our broadcast room. Imagine that we like to see all of the steps of the proof of concept or POC, and our engineers are able to showcase the concept and solutions with you remotely, connected from home office, or you're participating in an online course and you're able to provide your live feedback to the trainer. With high quality video, sound systems, and interactive online platforms, you will be able to experience the online presentation in an immersive environment. You will be able to see how engineers will set up the POC, perform validation tests, and showcase the results, almost like if you were in the room. Once you have learned about our technologies, solutions, and so on our newly launched Belden Academy online platform, you'll be able to dig deeper on those topics with our engineers presenting in this room. Belden's digital room will allow us to be with you just a click away. Standard solutions and trainings are of course an important aspect to learn and be comfortable with the technology. But how about if we take you to the next step and actually customize the standard solutions to your specific use case and validate the business outcomes with your application-specific components? The POC room is the place where you bring your ideas and challenges and attach your specific hardware and software components to the Belden solutions. Sitting in the same room, you'll be able to validate different scenarios and concepts and stress test those solutions by replicating real life use cases. Connected with the high-end validation lab, the customers will have immediate access to advanced test tools to ensure that your design concept is not only tested against your application requirements, but also benchmarked against industry's future technology. Built on a similar concept, the POC room will be equipped with multimedia capabilities to not only provide you comfortable environment on site, but allows you to let your colleagues join the POC live from a remote location. CIC's POC room is where your application and project-specific needs are converted into solutions. Belden's Validation Lab, the place where ideas and solutions are validated to showcase business value to our customers and partners. The complete lab is built to be modular and highly flexible, which means that all the vertical specific validation cases can be customized as per individual project or customer requirements. You want to add a PLC or a camera or even stress the network to its limit? No problem. Using the CIC tools, it will be possible in just a few steps. In this truly digital and 24/7 connected lab, customers will be able to get access remotely from anywhere in the world. You have a project in India or the US and would like to test some scenarios before finalizing your specs? Just connect to the lab as a registered customer and work with our engineers to get the performance measurements you should specify in your projects. Imagine if you can have access to a high-tech lab and technologies and take a step further to build and host our personal validation test case, exclusively designed and reserved for you. Sounds great, right? As a service and support have been very close to Belden's mission, we have made sure that our validation lab in Stuttgart, and soon around the globe, will be able to host your specific test case. We enable our customers a complete exclusive access to Belden's best-in-class lab infrastructure and its technology. CIC's validation lab is the place where our customers will feel comfortable with the technology. On the next part of our agenda, we have an amazing panel with whom we'll be talking about the OT digitization and what Belden will be doing for its customers. On this panel discussion, I have with me three gentlemen who have been the driving force behind the Customer Innovation Centers, one of the most important strategic initiatives we have in Belden. It's my pleasure to have them here, and I'm looking forward to hearing their thoughts on what prompted and inspired the whole idea of building the CIC. We have Wolfgang Schenk, a true Hirschman and now Belden veteran with over 30 years of industrial experience. Brian Leeser, our leader for many world-renowned brands like Lumberg, Hirschman, and ProSoft. And last but not least, the man behind bringing the CIC idea live, Vino Drana, the global head of CIC. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thanks, Andres. Pleasure and honor joining you.
Our goal today is that whatever your role is in the industry, you will take away with you something, a new idea, a fresh perspective, a new strategy that you can apply to be more successful in your business. I'll kick off the conversation asking questions that draw out some of the high-level insights of the industrial legacy and its evolution over the past 20 years, and then move on to which trends and technologies we need to keep our eyes on, as it will shape the future of industrial automation, having a direct impact on our and your business. And then, in the second half of our time, we'll discuss the next steps Belden will take to support our customers in this journey and how CIC will change the way we engage with our customers. I've been with Belden now for 2 years, and it struck me that Belden is a company that is able to evolve and transform itself, adapting to the needs of the customers. Many other companies have failed doing that. I mean, Belden was a capable company over 100 years ago, became a network supplier, network solutions provider, and now is transforming into an end-to-end solutions company. Wolfgang, many companies have trialed and failed in the past. What would you say is the driving force behind Belden? And I would say that the recent acquisition of OTN Systems is a continuation of that journey. Am I right, Brian? You mentioned a few trends that are beyond technology, and I would like to take a deeper dive into those. Could you help us understand a bit better what those are and how they're influencing our business?
Well, Andres, you can be sure it has been a lot of topics on this long and fulfilling journey from a cable and a connector company to a Industry 4.0 and IoT, IT/OT converged company. It all comes together always to one point: people. People matter, and people playing an important role. People with their motivation, bold people, ambitious people, motivated, and with that creativity and ideas, they are leading into innovation. It has been kind of a walk of fame on this journey. First contacts between Belden and Hirschman back to when Hirschman was bringing fiber optics, Ethernet to fiber optics, to the fiber optics cable in the mid-80s, and then a lot of steps to create and to make Ethernet more stable and more industrialized with ring topologies, MRP, PRP, HSR doesn't tell you a lot, but this is all ring techniques, increasing availability of a network, then real-time capabilities added by TSN and other elements, and finally now making Ethernet also on the path to connect sensors with single-pair Ethernet and going into the field area. People on Belden side, but people on customer and partner side as well. They are important, the dialogue is important, and all of those accompanied us and have been part of this transition and of this story, in this format.
And I would say that the recent acquisition of OTN Systems is a continuation of that journey. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you guys have talked about, right, Belden was a very successful wire and cable company for over 100 years. And then we really started this transformation to an end-to-end networking solution company with the acquisition of Hirschman in 2007. And since then, we've continued to build that capability through other acquisitions like Lumberg Automation, ProSoft, Garrettcom, and a really exciting one, Tripwire, a cybersecurity software company that we added around 5 years ago. And I'm really excited about this recent acquisition we completed this year of OTN Systems. When we think about where our customers are headed, this is why we're doing these things, right? The OT and IT space is converging. Everybody understands that. Networks are getting more complex. They need more bandwidth. And so we want to make sure we're bringing a complete solution capability to our customers. And so OTN Systems brings great backbone MPLS TP technology to our company so that we can focus and help customers with a complete solution that includes OTN Systems, Hirschman, Lumberg, wire and cable, in the areas of energy and mass transit. And in the future, we think it'll expand even further. But one of the things I'm really most excited about is not only is it great technology that's now part of the Belden solution landscape, but it's the people and the way they approach the market that's also very exciting. So very strong people, application knowledge, processes, but then they also do quite a bit of capability around the whole customer lifecycle. So they work very early with their customers around the definition and the standardization and proof of concept, network design, all the way through project management and implementation, which is a lot like what we're talking about with our customer innovation centers. So I'm sure, Vinod, you're very excited that we've added that capability into Belden.
Yes, Brian, and this has been also for me, I mean, when we started talking to the OTN Systems a few years back, and we thought as Belden that we can do everything. And when we started talking to them about the technologies and about the people, how they really approach the projects, I mean, it was a learning curve immediately for me as well. So I'm really happy, and looking at their project management skills and how the large projects in mass transit and energy, they focus, I think it's a great opportunity for us to learn and, as you mentioned, really offer this IT-OT convergence. Because Hirschman can go up to a limit. After that, we were missing the small missing link where you could really connect to the IT system. And yeah, I'm more than excited, and I've been working with them quite a lot now. So learning every day.
Yeah, good. And Andres, as I said, right, we're doing this because our customers are going there, and we want to make sure we're with our customers and ahead of them as their networks evolve and change. And there's a lot of global trends that are driving some of these changes.
You mentioned a few trends that are beyond technology, and I would like to take a deeper dive into those. Could you help us understand a bit better what those are and how they're influencing our business?
Well, some of the things that I'm seeing, Andres, is prior to the pandemic, right, the aging of the assets around the world has continued to increase. So the equipment's getting older and older, yet our customers need to get more and more out of that equipment. Now you combine that with some of the things that have happened with the pandemic, where customers are rethinking their supply chains, where they're going to produce and have capability. We call that reshoring, right? We think about the shortage of finding labor, right? And these are driving more and more investments in automation. But so you have customers trying to get more efficiency out of their assets. So OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, right? While they're trying to manage these issues that they're dealing with around labor and reshoring and supply chains, right? So it really is driving our customers to need companies to help them with end-to-end solutions. And so, of course, with our company, right, we can provide complete end-to-end networking solutions that then help them achieve these business outcomes.
In addition to this, Brian, I think it also means that our customers will not only transform and use state-of-the-art technology, but of course, they also want to manage efficient return on investment. And that means they will probably not do what is done in IT to rip and replace their technology, but to manage those investments and make sure that also the older legacy installation is contributing to the OEE.
Yeah, this is the part where I think Andres and maybe Wolfgang can jump in a bit more. I think if you look at really the skill gaps that we are seeing, I mean, industrial automation and machines old machines, when you, as you mentioned, this rip and replace part, it is not easy to just, I can change my computer every day, for example, and just replace it with a new one. I mean, changing the machine is a completely different ballgame. And that's why people are very reluctant to actually take that step.
Yeah.
They see outside that, all these new trends are happening, iPhones are coming every day out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they are still stuck with their old machines. And now they are taking this journey, renewing their machines and all. And we as Belden wants to be there with them, helping them out with those machines.
Brings me a bit back to my point, people matter, and Brian was talking about shortage of labor, is shortage of skills overall in all disciplines of a company. And we have this chart showing you the situation in the US, but you can easily copy this into Europe, into Germany, France, Netherlands, wherever you are. We have the baby boomers going out of business, going to retire. We have less people, we have a huge gap of people and knowledge as well. We worked a lot as Belden already on a kind of a transition. Was always saying, let's say, go from the marketing mix with the 4 Ps to the new model, and this promotion is now education. This is a very important part, bringing people together, learning from each other. And this is a bit where we were starting our discussions also with Ashish, how to support our people, how to bring additional resources to a solution, which is not only a basket of products, but also knowledge and experience and discussion and design. And this is a bit,
I think that's why, we'll come back to that point, Andres, later on as well. But I think this point that we were always discussing, if you leave the customers to do what they do best, for example, producing cars, and we do the networking part, the skill gap is not with them. I mean, they have the right process guys. What they miss out actually are the technology guys who will be able to really be with them and take this step with them, right? And that's why we jump in, and I'm more than happy actually that I'm the CIC guys, to support them.
Yeah.
But this is happening, and this is where we see that this whole gap between customer doing everything themselves and then the experts coming in for the things that they like to have help from CICs, and that's where we are coming in.
And this is, of course, a great link to our idea of creating the Customer Innovation Center, a place where our customers could come and co-create, innovate, and stress test their installations. You three have been instrumental in the creation of this. So could you help us understand how that journey started?
Well, I'll let Wolfgang start with this, because I was the one
30 years ago when I started with something similar, right? Service. So services have been always an important part of our portfolio offering, supporting. But the demand, the request of the customers changed. It's now more that they expect. They want to have us as a trusted advisor. They want to have this accompanying, consulting elements to come to a right solution. And it was always, it's not only a basket of products, adding these products, connectors, cable, switches, firewalls together is adding services, but now it's also adding designs. Let's call it, it's a tested, validated, documented, and maybe certified solution, and it's maybe sometimes even a battle to come to this solution. And for this battle, you need to bring people together, and this is actually what Ashish triggered us to discuss a bit and to go forward and to bring these first ideas to the whole world, to different regions of the world, and where we thought, Brian, the two of us, let's look for a guy who can help us and step in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I still remember that the day when we were in this call, when we had the meeting. And we really, Andres, we were talking quite a lot around this network as a service. That's how actually everyone started. IT was doing it for a long time. We said, okay, it's cool stuff. Our competition is always talking about network as a service and so on. But when we started looking at this end-to-end solutions and look at the portfolio that we have, it was clear to us that network as a service is the first step, and you have to provide, but it is not the only thing that the customers need. I mean, before you can actually service a network, you need to actually design the solution. And that's where I went to, actually, when Brian put in this word, that said, okay, when we are thinking about this concept, don't think only about services. It is important, but think beyond that. And that's how, Brian, you started discussing around CICs.
Well, I go back to this idea that we really need to focus on helping the customers achieve business outcomes, right? And I think we all identified kind of a gap. We have a lot of products, right? and a lot of capability, and we continue to invest more and more in that, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, right? But there's maybe a little bit of a gap in terms of how do you help the customer put those together into a solution, make sure they work, and that then they're going to help them achieve their business outcome, like overall equipment effectiveness, right? So I see the CIC as playing a really important role between all the products that we put together, but helping create a solution, helping customers figure out what they need, how to best take advantage of these capabilities so they can achieve what they're trying to achieve in their business.
Yep.
Vinod, is this why the CIC has been designed with the 4 pillars to help our customers in their transformation journey?
Yeah, and this is where when we were discussing, and it was clear to us that, okay, look, we just cannot provide 24/7 support. You know, it will not be enough. It will not be just also providing just, let's say, technical consultants is not enough. You know, customer, when you look at the whole project life cycle, the customers go through a different, let's say, steps and phases during the life cycle. And service and support is one part of it. But, you know, it starts beyond before the customer is even thinking about their ideas, their challenges. And, you know, they think, okay, how do I, you know, run my train faster, provide more Wi-Fi in my trains? And at that time, you are already looking at technical consulting. So, and that's where we started, okay, look, when we are designing the CICs and the capabilities and the expertise that we want to have, we need to focus on all the 4 phases that the customer will go through. Technical consulting, we start where our consultants will engage with the customers, design those solutions, and really provide them these OEE that Brian was talking about. You know, really discuss with them how much performance and the KPIs they will improve. After that, of course, one thing which many companies don't do, and what we also, you know, didn't do before, and that's where OT and systems came in, it was the project management part, the second pillar. We said it cannot be that we just design a solution and let the customer handle its own business on its own. And, you know, and we know anyone who's done a project management course that, you know, putting a plan on the paper and executing are 2 different things. And this is where our project managers, service engineers, they come into picture. They do the FATs, they do the site acceptance testing with the customer and make sure that when they go live, they really get those performance and the KPIs that we have designed them during the consulting phase. And then, of course, we as CIC are there to support them and to provide them the support on-site, day-to-day. But of course, every customer would like to know enough about their own networks. And they would like to see, look, if I were to maintain my network, I would like to know what is happening there. And that's where this training and education came into picture, where we offer certification courses from Hirschmann, been a long time. And we also do project-specific trainings and also bring our customers to the CIC location, which we will see later. You know, when we are talking about the validation labs and so on. So what we are trying to do is to really educate them enough so that they at least know what they are dealing with. And then, of course, then we have, for any support that you need, you know, when it goes beyond the technology where they cannot handle, then we have the 24/7 support, service level agreements, and have the whole portfolio of services that we offer through service and support pillar. So that's how we design the whole thing. We just don't consult and leave, or we don't do go live and leave. We just really support our customers during all these 8, 10, 15 years of life cycle, actually what they see with the network.
And I guess that the location in Stuttgart has been designed accordingly.
As you saw, Andres, it was also an important aspect for us. And when we started designing the concept itself with our vendors, you know, which helped us out in the customer journey, that's how we actually started saying, okay, what are the different key stakeholders who will come to the CIC? How much time they will spend, you know, whether they'll go for 5 minutes, you know, for example, Brian, if comes, you know, with another business unit head, then you just have this 10, 15 minutes. You know, you would like to know about the solution and not immediately go into any technical details. So we thought Cube, for example, or the innovation wall are the exact things that the CEOs or the business heads would like to know about Belden. They will go to those walls and the cubes and, you know, experience what Belden can do. And then we move on to the different rooms where you have the training rooms, you know, to educate people. We have the POC rooms where you take a standard solution and then customize it according to your own hardware components and softwares that you would like to have. And then you have other rooms, and obviously we'll talk about it later. And my really favorite piece is the validation lab, but that later.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the CIC is not only the place where customers come and we design solutions for their needs. There's also the word innovation, of course, in the CIC. Now, Vinod, before we talk about how the CIC will support innovation, maybe we could turn to Wolfgang and Brian to understand what customers are asking us and how Belden will help those technology trends.
Innovation is, of course, a long journey, and you know, in this case, I come back a bit to, let's say, the point bringing people together, and it's battling and it's fighting for the right solution. I mentioned before a walk of fame of different technologies. We have also this industry evolution or the industrial revolutions going forward, and there is this one chart which we could show you how this industry evolved in general. So there was 200 years ago, the first element was a mechanization. I always try to simplify a bit because simplification is the ultimate sophistication. Mechanization first phase, electrification second one, automation third one. But what is now this Industry 4.0? This is a bit still open. Okay, digitization, it's the digital connected world. But again, a bit simpler, it's networking. And networking means bring people together, bring them fighting and developing the right solution. It's a lot of work to do, but this is, let's say, the innovation also. The digital piece, yes, of course, but it's not just technology and bring elements together, it's communicating. And this is our communication hub, and not only for bringing people here in face-to-face together, but also communicate with them remotely with very good equipment and connection possibilities. Yeah.
We're using some general words here. I'd like to make sure that our customers understand what we mean when we talk about OT at Belden. Can we have some more explanation?
I can just give a brief overview about the OT part. I mean, Wolfgang touched a very important point where we said about digitization. And when you look at digitization, you know, everyone just jump into this whole cloud systems, for example. You know, oh well, I want to send my data to the cloud now. You know, and when we were looking at our own piece, Andries, we were thinking of, look, where does Belden play a role? What actually for the industrial customers? You know, we are the industrial guys, right? We are the guys who've been dealing with all the major brands that you can see in the market. So for us, the digitization had a completely different meaning. It was not immediately, I would like to send my data to the cloud because it's a fancy thing to do. But for us, it was all about, first you need to get the data.
Yep.
And, you know, Brian, we were talking about around these machines, you know, old machines. I mean, if the customer can't even get to that data, you know, what will you do with the cloud systems?
Yeah, enable the customer to do.
And enable the customer, you know, once you have the data,
yeah,
then you can do 10,000 things with it.
Yeah.
You know, you can send it to the cloud, you can look at it, you can represent it in the reports. And this is where whole this Industry 4.0, where we are thinking of our role and how the industry will evolve, and not jumping immediately into the last step. You know, when we are talking about, remember Wolfgang, we started discussing around this, that digitization is not a step. It's not that you push the button and you're there.
Impossible. Yeah.
You know, the first step is, as Wolfgang already mentioned, is establish the backbone.
Yeah.
You know, you create the network.
Yeah.
You visualize it, and then you go to the automation part.
Yeah.
And for us, these steps actually really mean a lot because, you know, we are coming from the industry side. We could establish a network, and now with digitization, what we are trying to really kind of, you know, figure out is how do we represent this data, or how do we really kind of, you know, let's say, show this data to the OT people, the people who will really immediately take actions before we even send it to the cloud for automation and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is how we were starting thinking about this whole OT, IT convergence, digitization, and Industry 4.0.
85% of the machines are not yet digital and need to be connected. So the easiest is to get this, to bring them together, to connect them. We worked on a model, and actually it's a bit that we took this automation pyramid with a lot of breaks, a lot of gateways in between, and we have now the automation pillar. And the very first thing is, let's say, on the field area to connect devices, sensors, actors, machines together, bring the information, collect this information, orchestrate a bit, container, pack it into a container, and send it then upwards to this before mentioned by Vinod cloud services, which could be just on-premise as the very first step. It's important that this goes secure, safe, and high reliable, and of course real-time, because if this service, which is then booked in the cloud, has to do an action, and after analytics is doing an action and giving a command back, this has to go in real time. That's very clear, and this is exactly why I say we are enabling, and we are already preparing then, let's say, a full customer process to be later on completely in the new world.
And Wolfgang, enabling the OT guys.
Yep.
this is the aim. I mean, of course,
correct.
Don't get me wrong, Andres, IT companies have done this before as well. So if you look at the IT systems, they have gone really major steps. 5G is coming. People are already talking about 6G now. But the OT doesn't move that fast. OT, it's not just because OT doesn't want to move fast, because it's just more critical. It is not like, if telecom people will switch off my router at home, I just restart it actually. And then it comes back again. Ask the OT guy if they can just restart the machine because Hirschman switch was not working, or our solutions which we offer was not working. I mean, this is not possible, and that's where when we started discussing around OT side and so on, bringing this data to the edge. Let's put it this way.
Yep.
I think this really created. Let's say, okay, what is our first step as Belden? Where the customer will take the first step in the journey, and that's where we want to be first. And not immediately start talking about the clouds and the other IT solutions that we will obviously need at some point. But helping the person day to day, simplifying their life, so to say,
step by step
in the operations
Yep.
is already a huge step. And I can tell you, I mean, you spoke about 85% machines. I have read a news and also the report where it says every OT person have tried at least 7 solutions.
Like a kid.
Yeah, before they even actually decide which solution they will go for, before they even talk about the OT. So, you see, there is no winning formula at the moment. And we are hoping as Belden, definitely with the CIC and with our sales and everything, that we take that step for our loyal customers, which have been there for almost 20 years now.
This makes a lot of sense to me. But let's now turn to Brian. Brian, we do have a quite comprehensive portfolio, but are these enablers in our industry around wireless, security, and this new thing called edge computing? And without a clear solution on edge computing, it will be hard to build complete OT solutions. So could you help us understand what to expect from Hirschman and ProSolve?
Yeah, thanks, Andre. So, you talked about edge, you talked about wireless, you talked about security. Those are all really fundamental parts of what we see our solutions today and going forward, and things we're investing in. I mean, if you look back, we have doubled our R&D investment over the last 3 years. And so we are really committed to ensuring we can bring edge wireless security solutions along with the things you expect around our networking, connectivity, wire and cable that you've come to know. Security, maybe just a minute on security, right? We understand that cybersecurity has to be integrated into our OT solutions, right? So it's a combination of hardware solutions and firewalls and intrusion detection with software, with visibility and compliance and those things. And we think we're really in a unique position with the capabilities we have both in the hardware and the software to bring an integrated OT security solutions as part of our overall end-to-end networking solutions. But let me just kind of go back a minute to, we were talking about Industry 4.0 and digitization, right? We really see a fundamental change in the automation architecture as part of this Industry 4.0, right? So we see things around networking traditionally, right, has been more about moving information to the right spot. However, in the future, actually there's going to be capability and value in the network itself to take in data, do some processing, do some analytics, and then move it to other spots. We see technologies like TSN, right, becoming more and more adopted. So real-time Ethernet is going to break apart kind of the proprietary backbone communication systems and allow customers and automation vendors to move capability around a plant, around a machine, do control, do analytics, do things in different spots. And then finally, we talk about the edge, right? And so the edge is taking this data, now it's digitalized, and where do you want it on-prem, do you want it in the cloud? And then how are you going to use that to improve your processes, understand more, go back to this overall equipment effectiveness, and how are we going to use that? And so these are all driving our investments in our portfolio. And as I said, we're investing significantly to ensure that, of course, we continue to have the core networking products and connectivity products that you expect, but building these new solutions that are going to address the need for digitization and having visibility to information and allowing you to not only process this and run applications in places throughout the network and on the edge, but then also to to move that information into the other places you want in a very secure environment.
Yeah, and also, Brian, when we look at this Tripwire acquisition that you discussed, I mean, this was again, we knew that we could do the network, but when we started looking at the OT side, how they will react to a network issue, for example, Tripwire with log centers and so on, it helps, and we are making now Tripwire industrial. Right, and we are shifting that all complete into not just for enterprise customers. That's what the original business from. And you've been driving this whole, taking the Tripwire cool solutions and tools and putting them into the OT side. And now we have the complete industrial visibility portfolio, right?
Yeah.
And this edge thing also, which for me, and maybe Brian, you can share it a bit. But I think this, when we are looking at the edge computing as well, it is only an enabler, not just to send the data to the cloud, but it is also an enabler for the customers to immediately see something in their premises and take the actions accordingly. And this is how when we started looking at with our consultants, CIC consultants have been working with the R&D, we are also looking for these use cases where how do we help actually the OT guy immediately with edge computing? And not about, edge computing is just actually a connection to the cloud. And maybe we can discuss a bit around the portfolio and what the plans we have on the edge computing. I don't know whether we can share it or not, but I'll be more than happy to know.
Obviously there's a tremendous amount of data being generated like never before, right? Sensors, actuators, all sorts of things, right? And so taking that information still needs to be used by the control systems as it always traditionally has. But now moving that into the edge, right, which is maybe, like I said, on-prem or in the cloud, right? So we're investing in capabilities within our core networking platform to allow that capability within our switches that allows data, as I said before, to be gathered and processed and then moved. We're also working on systems that take information from the sensors directly and can communicate that to both the control, like it always has, but also move that through standard protocols up into the cloud as well. But then also devices that will sit on the edge, right, that have the capability to run applications. So a combination of security and application in a product that will allow, as all this data and information comes in, to run specific applications that, depending on the customer, could be a number. You probably can think of a few to share. But so we're investing a lot, and it's a new area, right? As you said, 7 solutions, right? So we're really think it's important for us to be out there working with customers, providing them the capabilities and the pilots so that we learn with our customers about what's most useful, and that'll really help shape our architecture as we go forward.
And this, of course, in all brownfield environments, but because you can pretty sure our switches are in the field and they are ideal positions to collect data and to get visual information and bring this in. So it's not a greenfield scenario. It's not what you mentioned before, switching on a switch. Now you can go from the brownfield, and before OT network was a bit a closed network. No one had access. Now is open, now is even connected to cloud services. You need to take care, for example, of who is getting access, network access controls. These are elements which we are working on and have to add to our portfolio, but on a pretty good path to have this safe and secure.
I mean, if you look at this, the discussion around ProSoft, Brian, I mean, if you look at the solution, now everyone thinks that there is some kind of edge server lying there at somewhere in the OT side, which is collecting like a big data server, which is collecting all the data. But if you look at the whole portfolio, that how it is going, our IO links, for example, the new ones, Line X, they can speak all the IoT protocols. This means if you could just take the simple IO link, which is very near to the machine, connect to our OWL 4G routers, and just make the connection there, and use the ProSoft Connect converters, for example, the protocol converters. You've got an edge solution there. You don't need that server somewhere.
Digital sensor.
If you look at our edge computing, for example, that we are our firewalls. Now just imagine that if you would take the firewall and it just doesn't work as a firewall, but also does run an application which a customer has. Like for example, the iPhone, for example, is a very good example for me. I always check out, what Apple is doing, for example. But in any case, when you look at there's Apple, I mean, hardware is there. We have the operating system, we have the switches, we have the... Now just imagine that if OT guys also had immediately that exactly the same access, that they can just take their applications, what they want to run, and run it on our devices. You know, you've got the complete end-to-end solution where they don't have to go to any IT companies, they don't have to go to any software companies. You know, they've got the solution completely from Belden. And that's where I'm waiting, Brian.
Well, we are headed in that direction.
Simple, easy to use, midnight maintenance guy can make it and easy to configure. Right? This is again the simplification, which is, the world is complex enough. We are simplifying.
And co-innovate. And you know, this co-innovate part, you know, where you are running something which is specific to customer and not a standard solution. Because IT companies, but if you look at the IT companies' business model, it's all about sell to as many people as possible.
Roll out,
And OT is always about, I have not seen any system, you know, in any automotive plant, for example. Wolfgang, you've been with all the German manufacturers, right? You will never see any standard solution implemented out of the box. It's always some customization needed. And that's where we are heading.
Well, and I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is, you know, we're investing in these technologies, right? But without the CIC, I think it would be difficult to really help customers understand how to apply them and get the most use out of them. So I think the combination of what we're doing around developing these technologies and products into solutions, and the ability then to help customers
to customize
apply them into existing plants and aging equipment and new greenfield is really a great combination.
Yes, I'm happy, Brian.
That sounds very exciting, Brian. I'm sure also for our customers, this sounds very exciting. Now, Vinod, back to you. All of this technology adds complexity to the installations. And of course, for some of our customers, it might be difficult to know which technology to apply in which case. So the main question will be, how can Belden help to make sure we apply all of this in their plant?
Well, Andres, we will talk quite a lot around CICs, of course. And what I want to show in our next, let's say, agenda point is as well, as we know, is all about customizing those solutions for the customer. You know, listening to them, talking to them, see that how, if Brian says, look, my R&D guys can give you edge computing, for example. What does the edge computing, the technology that, you know, innovative products that the business units will bring out in the market, how do we customize them for the customer's needs, that it does really run and shows the performance and the efficiency that they are looking for? This is where obviously the CICs come in. And the complexity, yes, is increasing quite a lot. And what our philosophy has been always, that as the complexity increases, as the technologies are getting more and more coming in, you know, we are getting more, let's say, we are used to iPhone coming every year, a new one. So you see these trends happening all around us. And I think this is where the CIC will jump in, and the consultants, where the customers need to just take care of the technologies and the progress and everything happening in their industrial area. At the same time, they can work with the CICs, with the technical consultants, to really take that journey without knowing actually what is happening in the networking side. But as I said, not too many details, because I want to like just go to the validation lab later on and really show that, you know, how we are actually customizing the solutions in a way which really for customer will be, yes, I know it will work now.
It has been a great pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. I would have continued this discussion, but I'm afraid that we have to move on. And as we move forward, the technology frontiers will challenge all of us in the industry. Customers' challenge will be to keep up the pace and benefit from those innovative solutions. And also talking to you three, I as a salesperson, I feel more confident to tell our customers very confidently that Belden will be there to support them in their journey. And this also brings me to one of the most interesting parts of this event. Enough talk. Let's shift gears and move to the place where all of these technologies and solutions will come to life. And there's no better person to showcase our solutions capabilities better than Vinod himself.
So yeah, here we are. I was very curious actually to really get away from that panel discussion and really start showing you the validation lab. Well, I call it let's say the brain of the CIC, and the engineers don't like it because obviously the brain of the CIC are the people, as we were talking about in the panel discussion. It is not the Bell Lab, but it is actually the brain. This is where everything happens. This is where you will see the innovation wall, the cube, everything being really fed with all the solutions that we are developing. Now, I guess every engineer, when you are thinking about it, you must have seen this situation where you look at the data sheet, you look at the products and the solutions that the company wants to sell to you. You always think, yes, this is what I want. And then you go and land up in a live situation where you've implemented that solution and there's a gap. The performance doesn't fit the data sheet that you already had. And so for us in the CIC, this was actually one of the critical points, was not about testing the features or reproducing the issues. For us, it was all about how do we really replicate those real life scenarios for our customers so that you can actually feel confident when you choose a solution that it will also work. And I can tell you, and my engineers can tell you far more than me, that it's not an easy task. Just imagine if there was train to ground communication, and we don't really have a train here, do we? And you really see that it is difficult to actually replicate the roaming of the access points. When the train is moving, how do you still get the Wi-Fi? But I can tell you also one more thing, and also talking to my engineers, that nothing excites them more than actually the technical solution, which is difficult to really solve. And with this, I would like to introduce you to Ignacio, our solution designer, and take you all the way to the CIC, let's say the remote lab, where he has actually prepared a demo, or prepared a proof of concept, and showcase that actual solution with train to ground communication, which is working. Over to you, Ignacio, to the beautiful city of Madrid.
Thanks, Vinod. I would say that our main task as engineers is that of minimizing risks and avoid technical uncertainties in our projects. So the sooner we detect them, the cheaper to solve. We may come across these uncertainties when mixing different technologies and products, or maybe when going for state-of-the-art solutions due to challenging requirements. This is the main reason triggering our validation lab, as it brings the opportunity to test before going live. These tests could be done via always customized proof of concepts or factory acceptance tests. Out of the various applications this space is ready for, network services aboard trains are a very good example. In there, within the train, you could find applications like train control systems, passenger information, multimedia services, maybe passenger entertainment solutions, or video surveillance as case in point. Them all meet aboard. They impose their specific requirements and need some degree of connection to the ground. Our lab then contains all the components involved in this data exchange. So we could find octopus switches to build the onboard network, BAT 450 units to offer wireless LAN connections to the ground, open BAT devices as wayside infrastructure, programmable attenuators for the radio stage, and then we're having Bobcat switches as redundant access network. And then up there, we have aggregation and core routers connected to the control room. It is there in the control room where we have the virtual controllers managing the whole wireless LAN deployment. All these components provide a comprehensive networking solution valid for the many variations this use case may have. So here we have an example of an onboard CCTV application while the train roams at 80 kilometers per hour. Two train units coupled to each other while traveling together. And then we have a video wall at the control room, on the ground, and showing the live video coming from each of these units. We are building them the top-down solution within the lab. But from my point of view, the main virtue of the lab itself is, of course, its flexibility. Specific use cases require customized deployments and so help answer questions. Questions like, could I deal with this or that amount of traffic? We can reproduce then consist networks as per application requirements. Could I grant all train units can have the same IP addressing? This is a common requirement nowadays, and so we could test redundant couplings between train units, maybe bridged, routed, or NATed. We could also reproduce wireless LAN connections to the ground. These connections could else be single or redundant, could also be permanent, I mean, all along the wayside, or local, so at the stations and depots only. These links are triggering many doubts. Will they perform as expected? Will they roam properly? Could I download these files on time? Will my critical traffic be fairly treated? We could then execute dynamic radio tests and adapt them to different train speeds so that performance measurements are closer to reality. Wayside access networks are key here. Will redundant paths react quickly enough? You know, these networks usually go from station to station, where this traffic could meet with services of different kinds. And so the aggregation and core levels can be reproduced, else with IP backbones or MPLS-TP transport networks, whose virtues, grant end-to-end quality of service there where it is really needed. I mean, when a station and onboard related services meet. Will my critical traffic be affected by other services? Could I really mix them without losing performance? Well, I think you get the idea. So please take into account that our validation lab is not just a bunch of cabinets, cables, and devices, but it is more an attitude. We are eager to collaborate with you and help dodge any uncertainty you may have in your project. Okay, back to you, Vinod. Stuttgart. I was not able to physically be there, so maybe you can show the components of the POC running live in our lab now.
So yeah, I mean, I'm always amazed to see when Ignacio is talking about technologies. I've done many webinars with him, and believe me, it has always been a pleasure to see him really showcasing those concepts. I really would like to buy it immediately. And of course, when he was talking about those solutions, this is where he was connected to. This is the cabinet where he was really showcasing the train-to-ground communication. As you can see, the access points at the bottom, the attunators to really program how the access points will work together, the backbone of the network, and also here in the second cabinet, you can see the train, the moving train. And as I already mentioned to you, I mean, it took a time for us to simulate this and obviously show you the concept and the solution that we were developing. But I must say, when I saw the solution, when Ignacio was talking, you can see that he knew what he was talking about. Now, when you, as a customer, would like to see this lab and say, well, what is in there for me now? Actually, how do I actually connect with an engineer like Ignacio and talk to him about our solutions? And where it brings me back to the most important thing that we've been talking about in the whole session now is to co-innovate and design the solutions for you, for the customers, and replicate those real-life scenarios which we have been talking about. And you must remember about this digitization story that we've been telling you. It's not about push of a button. You take the steps, you establish the backbone, you visualize the concept, and then you go to the automation. And this is where this program, what we are referring here, is really that really helps the customer to avail exactly that particular element that you are missing in your journey. And no matter where you are, which phase of your journey, this is the program where we really would like to showcase and work with you together to really find that solution that will fit your current state, the network assessment program. And then again, you will say, well, Vinod, I have heard about this network assessment program from the other companies. So what is the difference about that? Now, this is where actually what we also started thinking about, it cannot be just about technology. It cannot be just that we are talking about the products, that it cannot be only about the length of the cable that we want to give you. It is all about talking about your own processes first, understanding how your operations are working. And this is where we first, before we even go into any technical details, we are really talking about the process, the workflow. And our digital consultants, before we even start talking about the technology, will really work with you to understand your operations. So rather than we take the technology and trying to manipulate your operations to fit somehow that technology into your operations, we are actually taking a step back and talking about the first step is to understand your operations and then provide you exactly that technology that will fit your operations. And if you look at the program, the network assessment program that we have developed, it's also very flexible. Depending on what you want, where you are, then we have designed these, let's say, the 4 simplified steps, we call it. So as a first step, it is all about interacting with you, talking with your engineers, interviewing them, doing the workshops, understanding what really your requirements are. We provide a document, which is called customer requirement specifications, and then we move on. We say, yes, now we understand what the customers really want. Then in the second step, we go to the site. We really talk and see how the operations are, and working together with you, seeing where the machines are, how the space is there wireless needed or is there a wired solution needed? And then we move on, take all those data points, come back to the validation lab here in this room, and we start defining, designing, thinking about, okay, what is the actual solution that we will need to really fit that solution to your environment, for example. And if it was not enough, then the last step is a very important step. People do tend to forget. It's not just about providing a recommendation, just saying, okay, look, this is the report, this is the audit report, this is the technical solution we want to have. But it is really about talking about your business plan. What are the next steps? What do I need to do to really go to the next level of automation? We at the CIC, with this new assessment program, would like to be close with you, work with you closely, and really avail all the benefits that we can get together out of your operations. And we are very confident that at our engagement with you, we'll be able to provide the value that you're looking out from the solutions point of view. It has been my pleasure to be with you in this validation lab, showcase with Ignacio that what we have been building up, especially for you, and we are hoping to engage all over the globe from all the CIC team members to learn about your ideas and challenges and give you the solution, the customized solution that you really want. And this is not enough. I'm pretty sure we have generated quite a lot of curiosity around how the proof of concept was designed, how the train-to-ground communication is working. And after this event, we also have the rooms, virtual rooms, where you will be able to talk to me or to Ignacio and learn more about how did we develop those solutions and the proof of concept. And we will be more than happy to host you there and see you there in a minute. Over to you, Andres.
Thank you, Vinod and Ignacio. And with that, we're almost at the end of our launch event. I don't know about you, but I'm filled with excitement and wonder when I see all the things that Belden has in store. We've heard from senior leaders how the CICs deliver on Belden's vision, mission, and goals. The Customer Innovation Center is so much more than just a physical location. It's an idea, it's a concept. The CIC shifts the focus away from particular products and instead focus on developing networking and connectivity solutions in a product agnostic manner. You've seen and witnessed now what we're able to do here on our high-tech location in Stuttgart, Germany, with the cube, with the innovation discovery wall, with the training rooms and the validation labs. Now, our customers have the opportunity to co-innovate with sales and product engineers to develop test documentation, develop proven solutions, and solutions that drive efficiency, security, and innovation. You've also learned about our 4 key service areas: technical consulting, project management, education and events, and service and support. Know that our expert advisors are with you on every step of your journey to accelerate the design and implementation of robust, reliable, and secure industrial networks. Stuttgart mark just the beginning of a series of CIC launches around the globe. Over the next year, we'll have 5 centers open to offer global access to our services. And even if you're not located close to one of those centers, it doesn't mean that we can't help you with your specific challenges. We have experts in all of the areas of the world who speak all the major languages, ready and available to help solve your challenges. And with our new virtual capabilities, we really are just one click away. Today marks the start of a new era at Belden. Many teams across our company have worked extremely hard to bring all of this expertise and technology together. To all of those people, I can now officially say the journey has started. There's one more thing missing to make this CIC launch work. You, our customers, valued partners, influencers and colleagues, because the CIC is not for us, it's for you. I hope you will join us in one of our virtual rooms in a few minutes to ask questions and to share your perspective. Just stay with us on this platform and the chat rooms will open up in a few moments. Each room has a different theme or topic of conversation, and we will host discussions in groups of up to 8 people. And finally, to everybody out there, straight from Stuttgart, Germany, auf Wiedersehen.